The Director of National Intelligence, Avril Haines, warned yesterday that America's top two adversaries could almost certainly look to exploit a potential U.S. debt default during a Senate Armed Services Committee hearing yesterday. Watch.
Regardless of its duration, of a default's duration, almost certainly it would create global uncertainty about the value of the U.S. dollar and U.S. institutions and leadership. Both Russia and China would look to perceive, sort of narrate through information operations such an event as demonstrating the chaos within the United States.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy announced his Republican budget proposal last month, signaling that the Department of Defense won't be impacted by proposed spending cuts. Joining me right now is retired two-star Marine Corps General, the Punaro Group CEO, and the author of The Ever-Shrinking Fighting Force, Arnold Punaro. General, it's great to have you this morning. Welcome back.
Maria, privileged to be with you as always.
You know, when you look at 2022 spending, that would be a decline in defense spending just based on where inflation is, isn't it? If you go back to 2022 levels, I understand that the speaker is saying we're not going to impact the Pentagon's budget. But if you're going back to 2022 levels, you are talking about a decline when compared to the inflation numbers that we've got there. How do you see it?
Well, Maria, you're spot on the arithmetic. What is passed the House is a freeze of discretionary spending at FY22 levels. For defense, that's $100 billion less than the FY24 budget request, $80 billion less than the FY23 actuals they're spending now. That's a worse cut than the deepest cut in the awful sequester back in fiscal 13. But you started correctly, Speaker McCarthy, Director Haines, and others, that our debt and our deficits are a national security problem. Admiral Mike Mullins, the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs, pointed this out years ago. It's something we've got to tackle. The deficits are like rust on a steel bridge. That rust undermines the foundations of the bridge, and at some point to the collapse. You can't have a strong defense on a weak economy, but to get on top of it, everybody's got to sacrifice. You've got to tackle the mandatory spending, Social Security, Medicare, federal pensions, transfer payments, and interest on the debt. That's 75% of all spending. Neither party and neither bill are tackling that. They're only looking at the 25% that's discretionary spending, of which defense is 50%. And the freeze, even though I know the leaders, bipartisan leaders of the defense committees are going to try to get around the freeze, the arithmetic right now is very daunting for that potential.
Well, I mean, there are so many questions right now regarding our ability to produce the weaponry that we need. How would you assess readiness right now for the U.S. military? Because Michael McCall, the chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee, joined me earlier in the week and told me that our defense contractors can't make these things fast enough. That's one of the reasons that we have been unable to send Taiwan the weapons that it has already ordered and paid for and promised to be getting. Because he said we're not making them fast enough. We don't have the ability to keep up the pace. What's your take on that?
Maria, there's a lot of reasons for the situation we're in now, which is not optimal for us to be able to confront China as we need to do to help Ukraine, to help our allies, and to get our military up to the readiness we need in this very dangerous and unstable world that we live in. It started at the end of the Cold War with something called, where our Department of Defense told our defense industry, you need to consolidate. And so over the years, we've consolidated. We don't have the industrial capacity we need today, whether it's munitions, whether it's an ability. We should be building 4 Virginia-class attack submarines a year. That's where we have a huge advantage vis-a-vis China and Russia. We don't have that capacity. The munitions, the Pentagon, up until now, they're making a lot of good shifts, but it takes time for our industry to catch up. And so we've got to do a heck of a lot more to basically increase the capacity in our industry to be able to achieve the levels of military readiness that we need to have each and every day to support our allies, to get that $14 billion that Taiwan has already purchased so they can beef up deterrence, and if deterrence fails, to be able to defeat China.
Especially as China has been ramping up investment in its military. They now have been able to put together a larger Navy than the United States right now, right?
Maria, this is one of the scariest things to me. I mean, I lose sleep over this almost every night. China has a shipyard that can produce 11 naval combatants in a year, which is more than all of our for-profit and government yards can produce. I mean, they have out-manufactured us. We need to do a net assessment of their manufacturing capabilities for their defense things. We can tell you how our fighters stack up against their fighters, our submarines stack up, but nobody's looked at this issue of industrial capacity in any detail and figured out what the fundamental changes we need to make. We're going to be in a confrontation with China for the long term. And by the way, Xi Jinping, as you well know, has told his military, be ready to attack Taiwan by 2027. We don't have until 2045 or 2035. This is the decisive decade, as our military strategy outlines. We've got to get a lot more ready than we are now.
Yeah, we've been talking about that every day in terms of the U.S.'s readiness against the potential conflict with China. A lot of people feel that Xi Jinping is preparing his military for war. I recognize that means Taiwan, but what does that mean for the United States? But you mentioned Ukraine a moment ago. Let me get your take on this. A Kremlin spokesperson is accusing the United States of helping Kyiv plan the alleged drone attack on the Kremlin. Here's National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby yesterday on what this issue is playing out. Watch.
I can tell you for certain is that the United States was not involved in this incident in any way, contrary to Mr. Peskov's lies. And that's what they are, just lies.
And by the way, General, Ukraine is also denying involvement in the drone attack, but Russia's deputy foreign minister is warning the U.S. and Russia are now on the verge of, quote, open armed conflict. So here we go now, General Punaro, with Russia as well.
Well, Maria, listen, this is Russia playing Russian roulette with themselves. This is a typical boneheaded ploy by Putin to basically, try to place the blame on the U.S. and Ukraine, maybe to do the kind of escalation that would be extremely worrisome. But this is not something I've known Admiral Kirby for decades. I have a lot of confidence. I don't have access to the classified information at this point, but I find it very, very hard to believe that the U.S. was involved, or Ukraine. Ukraine, by the way, I give them credit. They are attacking some of the Russian supply lines, fuel depots, ammunition depots in Mother Russia, as they should. You can't give your enemy sanctuary. But I find it, this is a Putin boneheaded ploy, playing Russian roulette with himself.
All right, we will leave it there. We'll keep watching all of that. General, it's always a pleasure. Thanks so much.
You're quite welcome. Thank you.